we've let Titan get some air back for a few minutes here. I still want to let him walk around a little bit more, but usually between circles, I'll just kind of let him wander around the arena. I'll work on pushing their hip up a little bit still. I do this every day. I love that, when I can keep my hand relatively still and he'll move his hip up and look in. Now, it's not that when I show him, I'm ever going to want him to have this much arc to his body or push his hip up this much. But I do it at home when I'm practicing. Remember, you're going to lose 30 to 40% of everything in the show pen. Typically, I'm not saying that there are not horses out there that try harder, the odd one does, but most of them do less in the show pen. So I want to make sure that if I put my leg back and press, he'll move his hip up to the left, he'll look in, he's on a big old loose rein. When I take my leg off, he'll walk off. It's what they call scoring. I remember reading this in Bob Loomis's book, back in 1988. I bought his book, The Art of Reining. It was in a Western Horseman magazine, a little black and white in the classifieds in the back. And I was 13, I was in grade 8, I was 13 years old, so I got a money order and I sent it over to America, and 6 weeks later I got this book back, The Art of Reining by Bob Loomis. I don't even know if it's still out, but it was a great book. It's still a good book, really. But it was way ahead of its time at the time, okay? And I remember reading about this in his book, where I think he used to refer to it as scoring. Okay, well, I took that idea and I do a lot with it because I think it makes the horse's weight. Plus, it's like every time I push a horse's hip left and right, it's like a little mini lead change. Like I'm practicing my lead changes now. Now change legs. Now lead change to the left. Now change leads. Lead change to the right. It's like I'm practicing little mini lead changes without the stress of loping around, pressuring him, making him feel worried. Getting a horse to be able to shape up for a lead departure without loping off is important. Just because you put your leg on does not mean the horse should lope off. In fact, the quite opposite. He should collect, soften his face, move his hip up, move his shoulders up, around his back, and then be ready for the lead departure. So I'll do a lot of that, setting them up for a lead departure and don't take it. Set them up for a lead departure and don't take it. And I kind of spread this out theoretically throughout the whole ride. And it gives me a chance just to meander around the arena as well. I found that when I train my horses and I don't feel pressured, like, okay, I gotta be in the office at 8:30 or I gotta film this TV show next. When I kind of have theoretically ample time to train my horse without a deadline, man, I just relax a lot more. I do a better job on my horses, etc. That's why, I like to get up at 4 o'clock. I don't really like to get up 4 o'clock in the morning, but I do it because it's peace for, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 4 hours of peace. So I try to do my best training during that time of the day. You know what I mean? Where there's no other distractions and I can just focus on me and the horse kind of a deal. So wandering around the arena there on a big loose rein, I love on him a little bit, rub on his neck, rub on his butt. I can tell my horses just ride better when I'm just in a better frame of mind and I'm not stressed and I can just push the hip up, get them soft, turn them loose. It's what I call tinkering with them. When you tinker with a horse, you just get a lot of stuff done and you don't even realize you're getting that much accomplished. Rightio, so we're gonna go to the left now. So I already kind of feel like he's a little bit tardy on that left rein. When I lay that left rein, he's not quite getting off it. So what I do now is when I do left circles, I actually hold my reins in my right hand. So when I show, I show with my left hand. It's just personal preference. Some people show with their right hand. But what I noticed is when I start training at home and I work on my circles, whenever I have my inside hand free, my horses just circle better and have more softness to them and they hold their shape better. Because when I used to only ride with my left hand, my right circles felt great. The horse always looked in, he was soft. When I'd go left and I'd pick up with one hand, they'd never feel quite the weight of a left. So then when I started a couple of years ago changing it, left circles, I ride with my right hand, okay? So that way I've got this hand free to work this rein. I noticed that my circles, I felt like, got more even. They got rounder, more soft, etc. Okay, so you don't have to do it, I'm just telling you what I do, okay? Push his hip up, lope off. Make sure he looks in. Make sure he looks to that inside. So that's my most important goal when I first lope, is making sure they look the way they're going. I cannot tell you how I can't stand watching horses lope around with their head to the outside of the circle. I mean, it just drives me nuts, okay? I think it's sloppy. Make them look in. And a lot of it is just repetition, repetition, repetition. Making them look in, turn him loose. And it's something that I'm still working on, and I'll work on for quite a while until he just nails it. And they've all got circles that they're better on. He's typically a little bit better to the right than what he is to the left. Then when he holds that shape, I'll kind of leave him alone. Now I might just go mix it up here, see if he'll neck rein. That time he did better. Got off that rein. Pick up. Get soft on my outside leg. Turn loose. Pick up again. Wait till he gets soft. There he got soft, turn loose. So now I'll start spreading this neck rein around the different parts of the circle. He's not looking in here. Bump that nose in. I'm gonna stay in this circle until I feel like he looks in enough. Pick him up, push that hip to the inside. Wait till he's soft, wait, there. Wait, there. Turn loose. Now sometimes one-handed, if I think he's just being a little bit lazy and not concentrating, I'll jerk that rein across his neck to get a little more arc in his neck. I can just kind of bump him there. Just like right there, bump that nose in. I'm gonna pick him up, practice my little counter-cantering drill. Usually you do at least 2 circles because you don't really get them craving to go back the other way unless it's a little uncomfortable being on the wrong lead this way. Look in. Look in. So he's actually neck reining to the left a little better than what I thought he was going to do. Pick up, press, wait till he gets soft. There, he's soft. Look in. Pick him up here and practice my circle here. Come on, keep driving, drive, 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 drive. He's lazy, so I gotta ride him with a lot of leg to keep him moving forward. Drive. In, soften in. Lay the neck rein. Good boy, he's getting off it. I love his shape here. He's looking left slightly, not bad. Just a little bit left. Pick up, check his face. He's soft, turn loose. Counter the other way. I can't lope him a lot with it being summer now and it's hot. So I got to be very aware of his air, not to run him out of air. Drive, 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 drive. change. Keep him thinking forward. Because he's lazy, I gotta help him in his lead change, think forward. Counter-cantering here, counter-cantering. Let him get a little straighter. Change. So before I quit, I'm just gonna work on a couple leads. Turn loose. A lot of horses change leads and want to speed up. Titan's almost the opposite. He wants to change leads and shut down. Drive, drive, drive. There. A little late there. Wait till he gets soft. Turn him loose. So I'd like to stop here, but I don't want to stop on that one lead change. So let me just work on that left to right again. One, two. There, that was a little better. And now just bring him down. Trot 2 or 3 circles, soften him. So again, he's not perfect at his lead changes yet. Good boy, Titan. He'll get there. I typically change 2 to 4 lead changes a day on him. Some days are a little better than others, of course, you know. Unfortunately, training horses is not just straight up like that. It's a little bit like the stock market. It goes up for a while, and then sometimes you have 2 or 3 bad days, and then up a little higher and then drop down. And as long as the overall stock market's going up, that's why people tell you, invest long term, because if it's long term, hopefully it's going to go that direction. But if you're only short term, it's up and down a lot. Oh, I love that. See what just happened? Whoa. I mean, I just snuck those legs off him, and he's like, I'm ready, I'm ready. Squeeze. Good boy. Oh, excellent, good boy. For middle of summer being hot, and I got another year to train him, I'm kind of done now. You know what I mean? I'll just let him air up now for 10 minutes. I might just let him walk around and just move his hip a little bit left and right, and I'm done. You just can't get as much done when it's the middle of summer. But I'm not trying to get a lot more done. So did I work on his turnaround? Did I work on his stop, his run down, all that stuff? No, but I got a good enough dose of basic exercises done that we can build on tomorrow. It's like training a horse is like putting a little bit in the bank. If you just put $1 in the bank every day, after a while it adds up to a pretty good chunk of change. Just a little bit in the bank every single day. I loved it at the end when I just took my legs off Titan and he just ran backwards. That's a cool feeling. When you take your legs off a horse, or you say whoa, and they're like scrambling to get back, they're gonna drag their ass. That is a dead sign that that thing's a big stopper. When you take your legs off and they do the opposite, which is lean forward, or just they just stand there with their eyes rolled back in their head with a stupid look on their face, they ain't gonna beat anybody. A reining horse has got to be engaging. It's got to be listening. It's got to be hunting that stop. It's the back of the hand. A horse's greatest strength is also their greatest weakness. Human beings, your greatest strength is your greatest weakness, okay? So Titan, his greatest strength is that he's really, really lazy and laid back, cool, calm, collected. Nothing really phases him. He doesn't get bothered a lot. He's not overly looky at everything. He just kind of goes with the flow. But the negative to that is I have to ride him every stride of the low, 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 low. Because the second I just kind of relax, he just dies in the ass, okay? And that's not that bad for a reining horse, it really isn't. Where it hurts you a little bit more, Titan, is that Titan's not a natural lead changer under any circumstance. Everything else that he does, circle, turn, stop, everything else that I teach him, he is very naturally talented and inclined to do it. Lead changes, no, have been a lot of work for him from the beginning, just because, and a lot of the gunner horse bloodlines are like that, okay? It's just that, it's kind of a joke in the industry. You know, gunners are just bad movers. They're not, you know, I'm giving a general idea here. So if you own a gunner horse, I've got one, don't send me a nasty email, but they're not, okay? There's some good moving gunner horses out there, but for the majority of the gunner, Colonel Smoke and Gun breeding, they're bad movers, meaning that they're choppy behind, they're lazy, and you have to mechanically teach them to change leads, okay? Where other bloodlines of horses they just get lead changes real easy, okay? Titan struggles with it. That doesn't mean he's not gonna be a great lead changer. It just means I have to put a lot more effort into teaching him his lead change program. You know, some kids are really good at math and other kids struggle with it, so you have to get them a tutor. You have to give them extra coaching. They can still be good at math, but it doesn't come natural to them. Does that make sense? So that's probably his weakness there. But you know, out of all the new maneuvers that I would want a horse not to be quote unquote natural at, I'll take a lead change any day of the week, because I know my lead change program is good enough that I'll teach any horse to change leads. I ain't gonna get a Tennessee Walker that's 16 hands high to change leads like him, but I can get most horses to change leads with enough time and preparation and take my time and build their confidence really well, okay? But Titan's back of the hand is he's lazy, but he's got a special characteristic about him, is that you don't have to light a fire under his tail much to wake him up. Like typically a lot of lazy horses are cold-blooded. Theoretically, okay, you got to kind of threaten them with their life to get them to say, okay, what am I going to do? What do you want today? How can I please you? Because they're just laid-back horses. You know, they're born welfare cases, okay? They love welfare, food stamps, okay? These horses have no ambition at all. You know, the opposite is true with really hot-blooded horses, sensitive hot-blooded horses. They're like, let's go, 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 go. Let's do something, let's go. But they're hard to manage because they're looky, they're spooky, they're overreactive, they forget quickly, etc. Titan's pretty unique that he's kind of lazy, laid back, tad bit on the dumb side, but you can light a fire under his ass in a heartbeat. Could you get Titan hot? Yeah, believe it or not, you could. You know what I mean? I love that about that horse, that I can ride him, like the spurs that I typically ride him in are pretty dull spurs. You know, they're a Clapper 78, they got a big old laid back kind of, you know, round kind of rowel on it. It's not sharp at all. As far as spurs goes, this is about as most humane spurs you're gonna get, okay, in the Western world. Well, he respects that pretty good. You know what I mean? If he gets a little lazy and I thump on him and you know, tell him to pull his finger out, he'll, okay, I'm sorry, Daddy, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I mean? Other real lazy, cold-blooded type of horses, you know, you'll kick him in the belly with the spurs I'm wearing and they'll just kind of laugh at you and say, is that the best you got? And then you have to go to a sharper spur to make him kind of respect it, theoretically, okay? But he's kind of a pretty unique combination there. He's lazy, but at the same time, he's sensitive.